Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. It's time for another metabolic conditioning workout. And for those of you who watch these training clips every day, please remember to click like down below. Otherwise they only get like 20 likes and the crazy trolls running their dislike bot will give hundreds of dislikes. And while the video gets thousands of views. So if you guys actually watch these every day, please just click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. It won't really take any time out of your day. But today's Metcon, I guess I need to cover up front because someone had asked me the other day, and I guess they didn't get far enough in to realize this is continual. This isn't a number of clips or rest times between, because someone said, hey, how much rest time are you doing between these rounds? And this is just one straight video file. This is just a video file of me doing the one session, one straight recording thrown up here and not really edited. I just cut it off at the end. So this is one continual session. So whatever the timer is that you see on the timer, that's how long it was. There's no breaks. It's just one nice continual flow of lower intensity resistance training. So for people who don't always understand the Metcon, I've had that come up. People will say something like, well, I think you could have done better range of motion or this or that. And it's like, this isn't really hypertrophy work, right? Metabolic conditioning has a hypertrophy component. It will put some muscle on you, absolutely. In fact, it's probably the most anabolic form of cardio you could do in terms of muscle growth. But you need to remember, you're not concerned so much with getting ideal muscle fiber recruitment. That's a minor part of this, right? Otherwise, we'd be doing sets to failure. Right? We'd be doing sets to failure. We're not. These aren't even close to limit sets. Like, nothing done here is even exceeding 50% of a rep max. Because I can do more than 10 chin-ups. I can do more than 10 glute ham raises. But we're doing sets of 5. Same thing with the step-ups. You usually see me do 10 on each leg, but you guys know that I can do 30. I've done it. It's just about getting your heart rate elevated while using a continual circuit of resistance. And in this case, pretty much every muscle in my body's being worked, although it is de-emphasizing stuff like the chest and triceps, so I'm not doing any pressing. Because, again, my workloads are so high on those on my 2 bench days every week that I feel like I don't have the recovery to spare. But you know, my chins are done as a normal part of this. And for people who've asked me with my chin-ups, what does my normal daily chin-up look like? It looks just like this. So I just do sets of 5. And I know that's raised a lot of questions too, because people are like, well, is that going to give any growth response? Sure, because it accumulates. When you're doing 100 chin-ups every single day, 7 days a week, you're breaking 100 minimal. Even if nothing is a limit set, I can assure you, you are accumulating fatigue that is causing some muscle growth. And I guess I should point out, I usually do my last set of the day with more. So a lot of times, let's say I want to really cut it off at 100, I'm not going to go beyond that. And I've done 19 sets of 5. I might go ahead and take my very last set up to close to failure. But here's what I can tell you. I can't do like 12 or 13 on a last set. If I've already done over 90 chins, I can't do a continual set with more than about 8 to 10. That's actually all I could squeeze out in my all-out max. So sometimes I'll do up to 8 on the last one. So even if we're talking about a hypertrophic benefit, well, now we're getting into quality reps. It could be producing growth, absolutely, at that point. And if I did that, say, 6 times every week, that's still the equivalent of about 6 limit sets. So it adds up. But the other upside is just the general work capacity, because we could say the same thing with doing the chins every day. I'm just building work capacity, right? It's just building work capacity. I'm not trying to get maximum hypertrophy out of every single set. It's that total workload adds up on other things, though. It adds up on other things. Yes, it is helping with my back and my biceps, obviously. Because again, you're talking about 700 plus chin-ups when you weigh 220 every single week. It's, for me, the grip and the abs and everything else have been a big part of it. And just the general shoulder health, right? Because again, it's forcing me to kind of pull my scapula apart, raise my arms up overhead. And yes, I am, if you guys notice, my scapula come apart at the bottom of those. A lot of people will say, well, it doesn't look like you're getting the full extension of your arm. That actually is my full extension of my arm. I'm actually going into a dead hang. So from an overhead position, that's as far as I can bend. Just reminding people, because that gets brought up every now and then. Sorry guys, that's all I can do. And I've even done that from dead hangs with 90 and 100 pounds of plates. Right? It's just my range of motion. But It does help with things like my shoulder health. It will help with mobility and stuff like that over time. And I've started adding face pulls back in recently. I started adding face pulls at the end of the day after I finished all my chin-ups. I try to do a set or two of face pulls most days now too. Just again to work on my overall shoulder health and all of those things to keep that stuff and to improve it. But in the case of the chins every day, what else are we getting? We're getting all the grip training. I can tell you I've noticed a tremendous improvement in my grip recently from doing that. And it makes sense because you're having to grip it. And I'm actually learning to focus on squeezing it really hard so I get that underhand grip like I showed you guys in another video. And then I focus on really squeezing it really hard on every rep. And when you do 100 reps and you weigh in over 200 pounds, you do 100 of those every day where you really squeeze the bar. It starts to accumulate a pretty large amount of grip training. And if you guys noticed on that 600-pound deadlift the other week, you notice I had no trouble just holding it at the top. I just grabbed that mixed grip, locked it out, and held it for a couple seconds, and then set it down with no perceived grip fatigue. So I think we can safely say that this has definitely helped with my grip training because I was having a little bit of problems with grip earlier this year. Granted, part of it was due to the hook grip. But we've seen grip improvement. That's a big part of it. It improves your grip. I mean, how many people out here talk about, oh man, I know my grip is too weak to do this or that. Well, start doing high volume chins every day. It gives you grip training. It doesn't just improve work capacity. It doesn't just help with things like your biceps and lats. It's grip work. Same thing with abdominal work. Go look at all the EMG data on even body weight chin-ups and abs. It's like doing a crunch. It's like you're doing 100 crunches every day in terms of workload as far as EMG is measured abdominal activation. It's like doing 100 crunches every day. Now, it's not super intense ab work, but that adds up, right? That adds up. It's ab work, grip work. But back over to the Metcon. Again, we'll always explain this so that people understand. Metabolic conditioning, this is part of being beneficial to recomposition. Because this improves your general conditioning. And yes, this is better than list cardio. Some people will argue, well, this isn't super high intensity. I don't know if it's giving your peak VO2 max. Well, we could argue about that. It probably isn't the absolute all-out best cardio you could get. I'll agree with that. But it certainly improves it quite a bit. It improves it tremendously and a lot better than list cardio would. Because it's resistance training that is improving cardiovascular capacity. Okay, it does matter. It helps get you in shape. And so because it gets you in shape, you've got to remember this is going to increase NEAT. It's going to increase work capacity. It is, again, helping you learn to clear waste products in your muscle from resistance training. It gets you into better shape. And it burns a lot of calories, and it helps keep your energy turnover higher. Through multiple pathways. Number one, obviously, the immediate burn. Number two, the EPOC. Number three, helps bring your NEAT up. It's going to, being just in shape like this and feeling good with things that help you recover better, it's going to make you more active in other areas. And the more active you get, the higher your NEAT goes. Well, also, this allows you to train with higher training volumes because it gets you into better shape. Okay, so in and of itself, this helps you just burn more calories immediately. And it's burning calories in a way that's slightly anabolic to muscle tissue. There is a mild growth response to this instead of the opposite. Some cardios would be slightly catabolic in regards to muscle tissue. Okay, so we're burning through calories in a way that's slightly anabolic that improves work capacity and recovery on your main lifts. So if it increases work capacity and recovery, that means you can do higher training volume on your main lifting. Well, if we can do more training volume, what happens? We stimulate more growth and we burn more calories. Same thing, if it improves your recovery between sets, you can do slightly better work density, which is slightly more anabolic, especially on things like my speed work, right? So this is synergistic. It feeds into all of that. So now if we can train harder with more training volume, we stimulate more growth and burn more calories. If we burn more calories, what happens? We have to eat more calories to maintain. So if we're creating a situation like this to where a training method like this all the way across the board allows you through multiple training modalities to increase your training workloads to stimulate more growth while burning more calories, so that you have to eat more calories and eat more food to maintain. If we're talking about body recomposition, step back and again think the math through again on that. More growth stimulation and a larger anabolic environment at maintenance calories equals more growth. If you have more growth at maintenance calories, what happens? You burn through more fat. It's a given. It's a given. So this is a powerful recomposition tool. Okay, there's a reason when athletes are looked at in studies, they find that a lot of times college athletes can recomposition pretty easily. They gain muscle and lose fat, at least in small amounts at the same time. Why? Because they're probably in really good shape, because they probably do a fair amount of conditioning work in addition to their weight training. Okay, this allows for better body recomposition. This has been one of the tools I've used to slowly recomp this year. No, I'm not ripped. And yes, I have the loose skin from the fat loss. We all know that. We can see it. We can see it around my waistline. But it's actually slowly tightening up as I lose a little bit of fat. I haven't really changed body weight significantly. So we're seeing recomposition. Well, this is one of the tools that I've used to do that. Because the higher your TDE is, and the higher the anabolic signaling from training in your body is, the better you recomp at any maintenance calorie. Because you're gaining more muscle. That's what you have to remember. The faster you gain muscle at the same body weight, the faster you recomposition. Because if you're at maintenance calories, the body weight changes aren't occurring. So every pound of muscle you gain has to strip a pound of fat off also to maintain the same body weight. Okay? So when we start talking, even if recomposition is slow, even if over the course of an entire year you only gain 5 pounds of muscle and lose 5 pounds of fat, that's 5 pounds of recomposition in a year. Okay? That's a tremendous change. For someone, if you are no longer a novice lifter, you finish your new gains, if you can pull off a 5 pound recomp in 1 year, that's tremendous. What would happen if you did that 2 years in a row? You look like a totally different person, same body weight. So this is a valuable recomposition tool. Right? And it's just part of being more athletic. We're just getting our conditioning up. We want to be in good shape. We want to be in better shape. It will benefit you. It will benefit you. So this workout took, a little over 13 minutes. I think it got close to 14 minutes today. So that's what I did in this for. I kind of got fatigued. It was enough just to get my heart rate up, keep my breathing up, keep it elevated for a while. Get a little good stimulation in my legs and my back and biceps and all that stuff. And I'll do more chin-ups later because I'll get to my 100 today, obviously. And that'll be my training for the day. It's one of my off days for my main lifting. So yeah, nice little bit of conditioning happened here. It doesn't need to be all out. It doesn't need to be exhausting. We just need to achieve our target goals. Alright guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.